All right, Avery. So I need to know, what is your favorite drink? There's two parts to this. What is your favorite drink that is like a normal drink that you would drink? And then your ideal favorite drink, this being something that you definitely should not drink.
Okay. I have both answers locked and loaded. I'm so glad you asked.
Perfect.
Okay. Favorite drink, because I'm a Philly girl, so I go to Wawa literally every day. Wawa has a chocolate cookie cheesecake smoothie. Those four words together, fuck, right? So I get that pretty much every time I order from Wawa. That's my like real life drink.
I didn't know that
Um,
was a thing. I live down the street from a Wawa. I think I have to go get one.
well, exactly. And then my like forbidden drink, um, specifically the orange half of the liquid in the Tide Pods. Cause like yeah, okay, like everyone wants to joke about like, haha, I want to eat the Tide Pod. It looks like a jelly. No, because that should it's like it looks like the you know those like cups that you can bite them and it sounds like you're crunching into an apple. It
Yes.
looks like one of those, and like the blue. I've never liked the blue artificial flavored things. I have to know what that orange thing tastes like. It does it because to me it gives Sunny D, and
Yeah.
I'm trying to get Sunny E, Sunny T for Tide Pod. There we go. I'm gonna
Okay.
stick a straw in the orange half of the Tide Pod and suck it up, and y'all are never gonna hear from me again.
Honestly, good answer. My forbidden drink was going to be lava lamp juice.
Duh. Oh my
Forbidden
god.
boba tea, you know?
Hmm.
Like it just, I don't know, something about like I feel like it would be a little fizzy. I think it might kill me within seconds. I love the vibes.
That's so real, and it's just so pretty. Like a little,
Yeah.
uh, like
It's
she's.
it's like a fruity drink at the bar, not that I would know, but because I don't leave my house and I also don't drink. But anyway, great talk. Welcome to Vox Talks, the podcast where I just get to kind of say things with friends. My name is Zelda Vox, and with me today is Camp Wanakiki season six loser, or season five, season six. Which season were you on? Season
Season
five.
five.
Season five loser. Avery Goodname.
Self-diagnosed loser, I will add.
Yeah, they. I mean, I could tell you to take a hike if you want.
Oh, girl. We'll get into Camp Wanakiki in a second.
Oh, I'm sure we will. Um, so for the viewers who may not be familiar with you, please introduce yourself in various ways. Who is Avery Goodname?
So, hi, I'm Avery Goodname. And this is my voice 3 days on estrogen. No, yeah, I am a non-binary drag clown from Philadelphia. I started doing drag in the pandemic because there was nothing else to do. And I won the first ever drag show that I did was a digital competition called Black Girl Magic Digital Diva Showdown. And I showed up in a green screen cardboard dress and swept. And from there, I have been weaponizing my BFA and directing, playwriting, and production from the University of the Arts, a college that definitely still exists,
Right, famously.
to terrorize the masses all around the country. And for some reason, two geriatric white men decided that my drag belonged on TV. So you most likely know me from the streaming service Knockout Camp Want to Kiki.
And you know what? All of the tens of people who watched it are flocking to this episode to hear what you
Tens
have to
is a
say about
crazy. It's 10, but yeah.
it. I'm so listen, I was trying to give you the benefit of the doubt here, girl.
No, we listen. That show has dozen of viewers. Okay, like
No, actually, I never really subscribed, so it's 11.
no. And most people are watching on my Out TV account. Trust that.
Oh,
Like
I'm sure. Oh, I'm sure. Listen. The only reason people are watching is because all of the contestants are doing viewing parties for exactly 8 people.
No, literally. Oh my gosh.
So, okay, let's just jump right in. Let's get it out of the way. Camp on a Kiki. Why'd you do it?
This is a good question. I was kind of doing a self-reflection of like what drew me to that show. Because like there Camp Wanakiki is a very interesting program in that like it's kind of the redheaded stepchild of drag competitions. Like people know of it, but no one really is invested in it the way that they're invested in like Dragula or Drag Race.
Right.
When I found Camp Wanakiki, it just kind of like popped up randomly and my like YouTube recommended. I think around the time that season 3 was airing. So season 3 of Camp Wanakiki was kind of how I got into it as a show. And what I liked about it was like just like from an audience perspective, what a cute, fun little show. You get to watch a bunch of drag entertainers like frolic around in the woods and have fun and be funny. And then they get to show off some cool looks that they made with these like very random, zany themes. And what was nice was that, like, compared to Dragula and Drag Race, the drag on Camp Wanakiki felt so accessible. I was like, this is a realistic portrayal of what drag entertainers actually do in real life. So lovely. Love that I
Yeah.
can watch a drag competition where the expectation is not to dump tens of thousands of dollars into a package of looks and still be successful. Bitches were winning Camp Wanakiki wearing jeans. Okay. Like it was very accessible. And I really vibed with that. Um, I got more closely related to Camp Wanakiki around season 4 because my drag aunt, Lily St. Queer, was the first Philadelphia drag queen to be on any drag televised competition ever when she got cast on season 4 of Camp Wanakiki. And I was working on a musical with Eric Jaffe and Lily St. Queer at the time that Lily went off to film. So I had to like cover for Lily for the 2 weeks that she was gone.
Right.
And that was what piqued my interest in Camp Wanakiki because my drag mom, Eric Jaffe, was like, you should do the next season. They really like your drag is really perfect for that show. And to be honest, they don't have a lot of black entertainers on that show. So you need to go and be like an incredible like representation for like campy black drag. And I was like, you are absolutely right. So on the day that the season 4 cast was announced was the last day that audition submissions were due for Camp Wanakiki. It was really simple. It was a 3-minute video. I had my lovely drag sister Illyria Everlasting come over to my apartment. We filmed it in an hour. I edited it down in an hour and a half. I sent it in 10 minutes before midnight. And I got cast. And
Work.
the rest is her story, mama. Like I that was why I got into it, was like because of the drag familial connections and also just because it felt like a really accessible thing to get into. And it felt like Camp Wanakiki was a better fit for my drag persona than Drag Race or Dragula.
That's very fair. I mean, I think it's also just like if it feels like something that's more attainable. Like auditioning for Camp Wanakiki feels a lot less like, oh, maybe someday I'll get on, where it's more like, just for Camp Wanakiki, it's like, oh, there's like a realistic chance that like, you know, you could just kind of be there.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So was it everything you hoped it would be?
Um, in a way, yes. Um, I listen, I'm not going to sit here and front and say that like it is an entirely glamorous experience being a Camp Wanakiki girl. We are belligerently bullied for the fact that we are on Camp Wanakiki. Like that show is belligerently bullied. And I can understand why. It is belligerently bullied. However, I will say that I specifically had a very uniquely positive experience with my time on the show. Um, because I think like if you look at the trajectory of drag entertainers' careers pre and post Camp Wanakiki, there is not that big of a change. My following doubled. I traveled the country for 3 months, the entire summer it was airing. I am now on drag race wish lists. I am now very involved in drag race stan Twitter. Drag race stan Twitter now knows what Camp Wanakiki is and talks about Camp Wanakiki because of me. The person who runs Drag Crave now posted about the season 6 cast reveal for Camp Wanakiki because they originally were like a stan of me on season 5 of Camp Wanakiki. Um, like I really got everything I could have possibly gotten out of my time on Camp Wanakiki, except winning. But that was more so of a personal choice because of, my at the time undiagnosed disability was going crazy in that 40-degree Wisconsin weather. It was
Ugh.
scary, mom.
Yeah. So they gave you an open invite to come back, correct?
They did. Yeah. They said it wasn't even an open invite to the next season. It was an open invite whenever I'm feeling healthy and ready to return for camp.
Are you going to take them up on that?
I I am. The intention right now is that I do want to return at some point soon. Um I would have loved to have come back for season 6, but um by the time season 6 was gearing up to film, um I had just finished paying off my debts to season 5. So I was still, and I also was like actively in like a lot of experimental therapies for my disabilities. So I was like, I'm broke as hell, and the exact same shit is going to happen if I
Yeah.
go back for season 6. But season 7, I'm pretty squarely figured out like how to work through disability now. So like y'all can't take me. Y'all ain't gonna be able to take me on season 7.
So would you like to talk a little bit about your disability now that you have a diagnosis and know what's
Yeah,
going on?
absolutely. Yes. So, for anyone who has not watched my run on Camp Wanakiki, you can very easily watch my run. It's on my Instagram. But I posted my elimination too. I eliminated myself on the 6th episode of Camp Wanakiki season 5, because I had missed 2 of the daily camp activities, which is like the first half of the episode that most people skip, where we're like in the pink t-shirts and we're running around doing like random things, because I had woken up paralyzed or like having pseudo seizures, and for I think 8 years, I had been dealing with that and had no name for what it was. But in February of 2023, I finally got a diagnosis. The current understanding is that I have something called functional neurological disorder, which is a psychoneurological disorder. So it's neurologically, if you run any neurological test, perfectly fine. However, my brain is really, really convinced that I have a neurological disorder. And it's kind of described as like a software issue in your brain where it like is subconsciously sending signals to your body to mimic neurological disorders, like based like any neurological disorder symptom you can think of. So like I have like muscle stiffness and paralysis and like pseudo seizures where like I actually remain conscious the whole time, but it looks like I'm going crazy. Um and I have been in there's not like a definite treatment because it's a very new Diagnosis: it used to be called conversion disorder, and before it was called conversion disorder, you're gonna laugh, it was called female hysteria. So
Well,
um so I have gender affirming hysteria, and now I take ketamine for it. So I'm living lavishly.
tranquilized, full
In
of
my own
just,
stable.
yep.
Yeah, like,
Well, you are remaining stable, hopefully.
exactly. I'm a pink pony girl, and I at the club. Um
Are you just like so into Chapel Roan right now, like everyone else?
I kind of am. I really am living for her. It's nice to see. We don't get a lot of lesbian representation. It's nice to see a lesbian. I love that white bitch. And her music is like good and
Yeah.
fun and refreshing. And like I haven't gotten sick of it yet. And even with this like controversy that she's going through right now, of I use the biggest air quotes possible around like controversy, where she, like many other celebrities, is just taking her moment to be like, yeah, fans feel very entitled to your time and your space at whenever they see you, because like you are forced to be such a public person, and like I want to reserve the right to my privacy. And what's been funny about that is like I haven't seen anyone disagreeing that like fans running up and like asking for pictures and then being upset when they say when celebrities say no is a bad thing. Like no one's disagreeing that it's bad, but people are disagreeing about whether or not it just needs to be tolerated.
Yeah, I first of all, I think that Chapel Roan should be able to legally murder three people every day. I think that Chapel Roan should just be able to run people down with her car with absolutely no legal or public repercussions in any way.
Absolutely.
Like the takes that I have seen on twitter.com are genuinely ridiculous. I mean, like, and people are like, the reading comprehension is at a zero because people are like, oh, well, she's just like, how dare she say that she doesn't want to take pictures with her fans? I'm like, that's not what she's saying at all. She's saying she doesn't want to take pictures with her fans when she's out of drag at the movies trying to watch Wolverine and Deadpool.
I
Like,
saw a tweet once that was like a video of Beyonce at like a red carpet being taken basically like with 7,000 cameras taking pictures of her at once. And the caption was like, Chapel Roan would have run home and cried and made 6 notes app posts and 3 videos. And I saw the quote tweet that I saw with that tweet was like, y'all are saying this like Beyonce talks to us as a public at all. She
yeah,
does not speak to us.
I was gonna
Um,
say, like, Beyonce has no interaction with anyone ever,
right.
precisely for this reason.
Like, and but also like what you were saying, like obviously Chapel Roan can go to a red carpet and get 7,000 cameras taking photos of her and be fine with it because she's on the clock.
Yeah, like
That
she's
shit
like,
happens even to me, where I'll be at like a CVS and someone will be like, Avery Goodname, oh my god, and I'm like, I don't want to do this right now. I just want
yeah,
to shop for a beach towel. Like, let me just go.
exactly. And it's like she's not even saying like, oh, don't speak to me. How dare you speak to me? She's like, if I say I don't want to speak to you, leave me alone. Like that's all she's asking. She's asking like, don't stalk me or my family and respect my boundaries when I say I don't want to like take a picture with you when I'm again out of drag, living my day-to-day life.
And it's really only Twitter that disagrees with her, because
Yeah.
I have seen like TikTok and even fucking Facebook.
Facebook. Facebook.
If the people on Facebook are unanimously like, good for her, you Twitter
Yeah.
bitches are crazy.
Oh yeah. No,
Yes,
absolutely
shade.
insane.
Like,
It Twitter is like, I think if I ever get on Drag Race, I'm deleting the app. I don't think I could survive.
Pulling a Q.
Yeah. Well, and like I'll have Teddy go on and like find the nice tweets about me to show me, but I'm like I like those bitches are psycho. Psycho about
Yeah.
everything. Everything.
Oh my God. And especially like if drag race fans in particular are like a specific breed of evil where like because this is one of the few shows that is like entirely for queer people, like we are so possessive, they are so possessive over it and like really want everything to go exactly as they want it. But like obviously no one version of the show can please everybody, so there are always bitches complaining. And like it was negligible before people that I personally knew and were friends with were on the show. But with season
Yeah.
16, my auntie Sophia Cristal was on the show, and my friends Dawn and Amanda were also on the show, and I had to watch them and Megami. I'm friends with Megami too, and I had to
Yeah.
watch all four of them just like get like reamed on social media, and I was like, I'm about to become the most annoying Saphira Crystal defender you have ever seen in your entire life because you people do not know her, and you are talking
Mhm.
about her like you have lived with her for 4 years. You have not. I have.
Yeah, well, and that's how I felt seeing season 15 with Amethyst and Robin and Lucy
Mm-hmm.
because I'm like, these are my friends. Like Amethyst, I've known Amethyst since her very first time in drag.
Gag.
Like she and I have been friends for years. Like Lucy is my drag aunt. Like she like these are people I know. And so like the things people would say to me for defending Lucy LaDuca, I'm like, I'm sorry that they're editing her to look like a psycho. Like she's a
I
little bit of a psycho, but she's not that much of a psycho.
also like, bitch, you're watching a show about drag queens and you're surprised that there's a white gay guy who's a little delusional. Like, are you new? Are you
Yeah.
new? Like,
Well, because I'm like, I don't know. It's just it felt very like, oh, she's the one they want us to hate. Let's get her.
it's
Like,
sometimes the fan reception is you are not immune to propaganda, and sometimes the
yeah,
propaganda is weirdo edits on Drag Race.
yeah. It's I the editors of that show have so much power. Like they can just ruin your life. And
That's
like
truly crazy.
and I'm glad that like for the most part the fans have kind of turned around on Lucy since like the airing of the season, especially when like Let Loose started going viral for a good reason instead of a bad one. Because people realize it's actually kind of a good song.
It's so good.
And like that was fun. But like seeing the things people would say on the internet, just like because like I'm sure Lucy was not seeing everything that was said about her, but all of her friends are.
Yep.
Because like the Connecticut drag scene, we're all we're very close. I mean, I will always forever be a Connecticut girl because that's where I started, and like I'm still very close with all of my Connecticut divas. But like the Connecticut scene is very close, and so like every single Connecticut drag queen was going to war for Lucy and Amethyst and Robin, and like we all looked psycho, but like that's kind of what needed to happen because the fans are just so willing to just say shit.
I will also say, like, I performed in Connecticut last year. Y'all scene is small. That is a
Oh
small scene.
yeah. Yeah.
And Philly was the same way because Philly's scene is very, very, very small. We are an incredibly small drag scene.
Mm-hmm.
So like pretty much everybody who was like a regularly working drag entertainer in the city of Philadelphia either knew Saphira pretty well or, to be quite honest, worked directly on her package.
Yeah.
Um, like at least half of the city of Philadelphia stoned that geode look that she ended up not wearing for the makeover. Like it was crazy. Um,
I had
but
heard about
like
that look, and when I saw it, I was gagged and was so devastated that she couldn't wear it.
I no when she got back, the first question everyone was like, "How'd the geode look do, Saphira?" And when she was like, "I couldn't wear it," we were all
I
like,
I would have been livid. I had heard from multiple people who worked on stoning that outfit that it was quite the project, and it was gorgeous.
"It was so beautiful. Oh my
So
god."
beautiful. But like that must be so heartbreaking to like have like the like what I mean, I would if it wasn't Saphira, I'd say the big ticket item, but she had so many big ticket items on her package. But like to have one of the big ticket items of your package be like completely unwearable on the show because of
Yeah,
like, their little twist for the challenge, so upsetting.
so devastating. I would have honestly preferred if she had come back and been like, there was never a makeover challenge. I never got the chance to wear this.
See, but
Like,
how's she gonna lie? They showed it on television.
no, but I'm saying like if season 16 hadn't had a makeover challenge,
Oh yeah.
um, like if it wasn't a lie and she came back and she was like, yeah, there just never was a makeover. Like I made it to the end, but there was never a makeover. And we would have been like, damn, we did
Yeah.
all that work just in case, but it's okay because you have that look.
Yeah.
But no, she was like, no, they like, I don't know how much of this I'm allowed to say,
We'll save
but
it for the Patreon episode.
yeah, but there's there's
We'll come
there's a
back to that.
lot to that look. That
Oh
was why
yeah.
she couldn't wear it.
I'm sure. It seemed like there was quite a bit of controversy around. Yeah.
Girl.
Um Now speaking of Drag Race, would you do it?
I have been thinking about it. I've been talking to Saphira a lot about it. I was going to originally audition for season 17. Saphira told me to wait. Um, I have been trying to focus a lot more on my makeup and my looks before I go and audition for Drag Race. I because I also like I feel like I'm in a weird position with Drag Race because, like, I have already been on a technically, I have already been on a televised drag competition. I was on Camp Wanakiki.
Right.
I am most notably known for being on Camp Wanakiki. I can't like pretend that I wasn't on Camp Wanakiki. I would say a solid 60% of my following knows who I am because of my run on camp.
Right.
I don't know if that bars me from getting on Drag Race because no one else from Camp Waikiki has ever been cast on Drag Race. But that isn't to say that it isn't possible. Like, we
Right.
know for a fact that anyone who has been on Dragula will never be on Drag Race. But, like, I don't know if that's true for anyone who's been on Camp Waikiki.
I
Um,
don't even know if it's true that people from Dragula can't get on Drag Race.
Oh, it's in their contracts.
Oh, it is?
Like, yeah, yeah. Like if you go for Dragula in the Dragula contract, it basically says that you are not allowed to audition for Drag Race. Like you
Ever?
cannot be cast on Drag Race. It violates the contract.
I thought it was like only for a few years. I didn't realize it was like a permanent, like you can never do Drag Race.
I think that contract is only for a few years, but I think that also Drag Race views Dragula as direct competition and doesn't want to like has made it very clear that they are like avoiding casting people who have been on Dragula so as not to uplift that
Yeah.
IP, which is why I am unsure if I even stand a chance having been on Camp Wanakiki. Because like I don't know if Drag Race wants to uplift that IP either.
But also, do they view it as
But
direct competition?
what?
But do they view it as direct competition? Like,
That's the thing, is that it's like, so it really is like, yes, it's a drag competition, but I feel like it's so different enough from Drag Race
yeah,
that like it really isn't competing with them. And also like Hamburger Mary's has given prize packages to Drag Race before.
yeah,
Like, I'm pretty sure like the meme of like Sasha winning a year supply of
yeah.
burgers,
That
even
was
though she's a
burgers from
comedian,
Hamburger
those burgers were
Mary's.
from Hamburger Mary's.
Correct.
Um, so like I know that the Sugar Bakers are friendly with World of Wonder, at least. Like they have donated prizes to them before. So like I feel like it's not entirely off the table. I'm just unsure my eligibility for the show.
Yeah,
And also with the way that I am self-treating my current condition, I don't know if I'd be able to last 2 months isolated with no phone and no access to the medication that I need.
yeah,
um but um I would love to,
yeah.
because I love the idea of having financial security.
No, literally. And I think that if you want to go on Drag Race because like you want to win Drag Race and you want to be on TV, that's not a reason to go on Drag Race. I mean, it is, but like I don't think that's like the best. I think that the people who should get on Drag Race are the people who want to get on Drag Race because they want to be able to afford to do drag as a job. Like
Yeah.
that, I think it's the people who are genuinely passionate about drag and like, yes, they want to compete and they want to win and like whatever, but like I think that the main motivation behind doing Drag Race should be I want to be able to do drag as like a full-time thing because that's really like, the 99% of people who go on Drag Race aren't going to win, but like, the majority of them are going to be able to like do it full time at least for a little while.
Yeah.
And so like I feel like that the if you're being realistic, your motivation should be I want to be able to make money doing drag, which is like that's the dream, mama.
I truly like, I want to be on Drag Race so that I can have the financial means to finally do drag the way I have been wanting to do drag since I started.
Exactly.
And I do really I also feel like, I don't know, I very thoroughly enjoyed filming for Camp Wanakiki. I enjoy being on TV. And it's like it's a process that like I am at least somewhat familiar with. I would imagine that the filming process for Drag Race is a bit different than the filming process for Camp Wanakiki,
Yeah.
but like I have done a filming process before. So like I am a bit seasoned and feel that I would like do well in a majority of the challenges that Drag Race
Yeah.
has to offer. I I know how to sew. I would just need some like patterns made beforehand,
Yeah.
and then I'd
Well,
be like able to coast through that. And then truly the only thing I would be worried about was is Snatch Game, because I do not care about celebrities. But like
lately you don't have to do celebrities for Snatch Game. You can do whatever the fuck you want.
I don't want to fucking talk about that shit, bitch. Oh, I'm coming as the
I'm coming
I'm
as
coming as
broccoli.
Marcel Duchamp's fucking toilet. Like
Yeah.
I'm coming as the urinal for Snatch Game.
Listen, sometimes they eat that shit up. I don't know why, but they do.
I don't know why either, but
But I think you have a great like personality for television.
yo.
Like you're just a
So,
very like naturally funny and entertaining and engaging person. And so like I personally would like to see you on the television in a place where more people will see you.
mm-hmm. I listen, if I go missing next summer and, and my name is on the season 18 cast list, don't say nothing to nobody. But
My
buy
lips are
merch.
sealed.
Yeah.
Nothing.
No, no,
Uh
not that.
Now here's a speaking of being on television, are there any non-drag television shows that you would want to go on? In
Oh
or out of
my
drag?
God. Okay. So I feel like my modern day answer and kind of a cop out answer is the traders. Like I would love to do the traders. More realistically, there is a show from I believe 2013 that only had one season, and I needed to get revived so bad because I miss it so dearly. It's called Who Done It. And the premise is that a bunch of random people are flown out to this mansion, and one of them is a serial killer who invited everyone else there to play a death game to win $1 million. And obviously, like this is all scripted and people aren't actually dying, but
Yeah.
it starts one like two of the like 14 people that they invited were like paid actors, and one was a paid actor to like pretend to be a contestant but was actually the killer, and the other person was a paid actor to be the first victim. um so every time a person dies, you split up into three groups to investigate the victims, the crime scene, the victim's last known whereabouts, and the morgue, where you can like investigate the body and see what happened. And then you like do challenges to like uncover more secrets, and then you basically at the end of the day, at the end of the investigation day, you have to go into the library and explain to a hidden camera how you think the murder happened. And if you, the closer you are to the truth, the safer you are. So if you completely mess up the way that the murder was carried out, you are up for elimination. And if you are eliminated, you are the next person to be killed by the serial killer. And the way I would eat that show up, like I need them to revive Who Done It so I can come back and sweep.
Would you do it in drag?
Yes, obviously. And if I died, I die in drag.
That's Dragula, baby.
Like, what do the ballets do? Where they're like, oh,
I'm not wearing nails, so I'm not going to demonstrate. Um, I can't let the people know that I don't wear nails.
exactly.
Why do you think I wear gloves in every single look that I ever do?
I listen. I don't like nails. I've never liked nails. I've always been a glove girl.
Yep.
In fact, when I did wear nails on Camp Wanakiki, I put them on gloves. I was a
Yeah.
nail
Oh
glove
yeah.
girl. I'll admit it.
Anytime I'm wearing a nail, it's on a glove.
Yeah.
I
I
am
just
never,
like
ever, ever putting nails on my actual physical hands. They are always on gloves because they stay on better if they are on gloves. Because, and this is a tip for all you fucking drag artists out there who wear nails and they always fall off. Get a pair of nude mesh gloves from Amazon and put the nails, use the little nail stickers. They stick on great. Put them on, like, put the gloves on. I'll show you my hand. You put the glove on, you put the nails on the glove while you're wearing it, and then you could take off the glove and the nails stay on the glove. And what basically the reason that nails fall off is because you put tension on the nail and then it just pops right off your finger. But if they're on gloves, the fabric will just stretch and the nail won't come off. And so
yep.
then you get all your nails to stay on. I have never, ever, ever lost a nail because I always wear them on gloves.
But just be careful when you're doing photo shoots to make sure that the nails are in the
Yep.
right place. You don't want that Moxie Michaels moment where she had that one nail that was on this side of her finger.
Ariel did her so dirty with that.
Girl.
Oh boy. Yeah, no, that is a very good point. You do in fact have to make sure your fingers are all twisted the right way, but it is a small price to pay. It is very worth it.
And also, like, drag queens on Twitter may complain about it, but you know who's not going to complain about it? Audiences.
Yeah,
Like, if you really want to wear nails that bad, no one's going to complain that you wore a nude mesh glove.
exactly. But you know what they will complain about? If you have man hands.
Fuck
I
that.
I will never forget, and actually I'm going to say this for the Patreon episode because I don't know if I'm allowed to like tell this story with names, but I want to. So I'll save it for Patreon. But yeah, don't have man hands at a drag brunch because you'll get clocked by the audience.
That's insane that people care that much.
Insane, psychotic, but really funny. Like genuinely hysterical, terrible. But and you know what? After hearing that, never went to perform without nails on again.
Oh my
It's gloves
god.
every day, baby.
we're just glove girls in the glove world. What can we say?
Exactly. Um, so one thing I do want to talk about. So you are a Philly drag queen. We talked a little bit about how small the scene is in Philly. What would you say are some pros and cons of being a Philadelphia-based drag queen, such as yourself, Avery Goodname?
Oh Lord, it's interesting. Because like I have been really kind of struggling with the cons of living in Philly recently, but um I think that the best way to describe the pros and cons is to kind of describe where I'm at in my career right now.
Yes,
Um
do it.
the pros of living in Philly. It is a small scene. It is very easy to make yourself known in the scene because you really only have to introduce yourself to like 20 people.
Yeah,
Uh, like it's really that small. And when I was coming up in the scene, I think that I entered the drag scene at the perfect time because I found all the right opportunities exactly when I needed to. My first drag show being Digital Diva Showdown was right at the start of the pandemic when digital drag in Philly was like really at its height. And I came in with something that was like super innovative to digital drag. And people were like, wow, I want to keep my eye on this girl. And then when we started going in person, people were excited to see the digital girl go analog. And then in Philly, we had a competition called Snatcherella 3000. And I was able to do the third season of Snatcherella 3000. And that significantly boosted my career because, again, the scene was so small that Snatcherella was basically Philadelphia's drag race. Like it was the
yeah,
biggest event that Philly drag had. So, of course, everyone in Philly's nightlife scene was so tapped in and so invested in it to the point where it got so much traction that people outside of
yeah,
Philadelphia started learning about Snatcherella. And we started getting girls from DC and Jersey. And I mean, the last season of Snatcherella had fucking Miss Mamshi.
yeah.
Um,
I gotta get her on
and
here.
like a lot of people in the Northeast found out about Philly because the virtue of it being such a small scene
Yeah,
allowed us to have events that were so centralized that they just kind of blew up bigger than we could um bigger than us.
yeah.
And I was very fortunate to be part of that when it was blowing up. The cons of living in Philly though and doing drag in Philly or that it is a really small scene. And because of that, we have one venue. We've won. We technically have more than one, but
One
um
good venue.
we have one main venue that gives us the things that we need. And by the things that we need, I mean like a decent sound and lighting equipment, a dressing room and a stage, like a designated stage area, raised stage. Um, and other places we perform at are what I like to call cunty hallways, where like there could be a sound system and there is like a bathroom that they have turned into a dressing room on show on days
Yeah.
where they have shows, but there is no stage. You are walking through a hallway cuntily. So you're performing in a cunty hallway. And we have a couple of venues like that. Frankie Bradley's is our main, like that's the venue where everyone produces their big shows, and we have two different stages there with great light and sound equipment and dressing rooms, designated dressing rooms. And then we have other bars like Cockatoo, where we do a lot of our brunches, and Tattooed Mom, which don't get me started on Tattooed Mom. It is not a venue. They don't have a stage. They don't have a dressing room. They don't have a sound system. You have to bring your own speakers. People are
Ooh.
determined to continue to produce shows there. I do not understand why. It's a very lovely bar. I do not ever want to perform there ever again. Um, I, however, have found my own cunty hallway called Stir Lounge, where I produce a now weekly drag show called Karaoke Drag Show, where people come and they sing karaoke and we lip sync to them as they sing karaoke.
It
Very
looks
cute,
so
very
fun.
fun.
I've seen very many
Um,
videos.
It's so funny, like because it's such an easy gig too.
Yeah.
But that's a Conti hallway. They have kind of a dressing room and they have a designated sound system, but they don't have a stage. It's you
Yeah.
will literally walk up and down a Conti hallway, and they have like a little cleared out area where you can do one trick. But
Doing a split
because the
while
scene is so
Maxine lip syncs
small,
to.
um, because we don't have that many venues, there aren't that many shows.
Yeah.
And that means that there are not that many opportunities to make money, which is really difficult if drag is your primary source of income, which unfortunately, for a lot of us, being very marginalized people, Philly is a pro of Philly being that it is a very black, very trans, very ability diverse scene. A lot of us tend to rely on nightlife as our primary source of income. And the con is that when audiences aren't there, or we run out of space to produce these things, or just in the past month that I have only really had 2 or 3 paying bookings. There's just not a lot of money. And um I think that it's a very lovely scene that is like it's a really good starting place for
Hmm.
drag, but it feels very difficult to find a an established continuing full-time drag career in Philadelphia without having to leave the city.
Yeah.
Um which sucks. I want our scene to get bigger and get more resources that it needs to be successful. But like most of the time when you see a Philly girl start doing really, really well, it's because they are starting to perform outside of Philly.
Yeah.
Um, and it has almost made me leave the city a couple of times. I have genuinely considered like moving out of Philadelphia to like find a scene where I can get a bit more upward growth. But honestly, there is no other place I can see myself living and performing in consistently. Like if I want to perform in Brooklyn that bad, I'll take a megabus.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, it's difficult, but it is worth it because the community is it's very nice if you can get yourself settled in.
Yeah. I that's those all sound like things that I have observed as kind of like a Philly drag enjoyer from afar, because I live a full hour away from Philly, and so like coming to see shows more than once every couple months when I am not really working very much is like difficult. um but yeah, it's a scene where like the community is lovely. Like I am such a big fan, and there will be a lot more Philly divas coming on this podcast. um like I love the Philly girls. Y'all are so like welcoming and very just like good people. um but yeah, the fact that there is one venue and there are like very few shows, it's like I would love to like be able to like come and perform in Philly, but like finding an opportunity to come, especially someone who doesn't live in Philly, like there's just simply no way that I'm going to get like not even gonna mention like a regular booking, but like just a booking. Like it's just like the people who live in Philly are already like struggling to get booked. I'm like, there's no way that I could like find a way in, which is like it's one of those things that's like it sucks because I'm like I'd love to like I would love to work with the Philly girls more and like do things, but it's just like where am I gonna do that? You know?
We're also I think in a weird spot right now in our scene. I Because like I said, like in 2021, 2022, like we had more room for people.
Yeah.
And I think that people were starting to feel like the scene was getting oversaturated, but I don't think that our scene's oversaturated because I could probably name everyone who works consistently in our scene. That's not
Yeah.
oversaturation. Um but with we back in 2021 and 2022 we had two venues, but one of them is being boycotted right now, and we have lost that significant performance space,
Yeah.
and with that we also lost like our most consistent open stage, which was like the way to get into Philly's drag scene.
Yeah.
um so now we're kind of scrambling to like reorient ourselves to be able to like have a clear pipeline of like, if you are starting drag in the city of Philadelphia, you start in this circuit and then you
Right.
can move your way up to performing in the regular gigs. But like the people who were up in this part have lost a significant portion of their bookings. So now we're all just like, okay, what's going on? Like even like
Yeah.
consistent show producers were like, okay, what now? Like,
Yeah. Well, and it really is. It's not an oversaturation. It's just an under, like there's just not enough shows. Like there's not enough
yeah,
places to do
we
drag.
don't have too many people. We have too few resources. That's
Right.
the issue.
Exactly. Because like it's a small scene and even smaller like spaces. Like there's just not enough place to do it, which is just like very unfortunate.
Yeah.
But Sulavu, um,
Sulavu.
Sulavu. It's French for
Bucket. Yeah.
yeah. Um, but anyway, with that, we are out of time.
uh
But this was in fact very lovely. Um, before we go, Avery, do you have anything to plug?
I do. Okay, yes. So I do have some shows to plug. If you first off, if you want to see what I look like in drag, um, you can follow me on Instagram at goodnamefordrag, like a good face for radio. And then from there you can see what shows I am doing in September and beyond. I have quite a few things coming up in the month of September. In September, karaoke drag show, the show I was talking about earlier, goes weekly. So every single Tuesday, you can catch me and one special guest at Stir Lounge. And if you want to come and sing karaoke, we will lip sync to you and make fun of you. It's funnier if you're drunk. September 7, yeah, Saturday, September 7, I will be in New York for Bushwig, which is crazy that I got cast in Bushwig. Um, and then on September 11, I will be hosting a Weird Al Yankovic drag show. So if you love Weird Al, you can come and see me there. And on September 14, this is the one I'm very excited about. I had done this show a couple of times, but we are now officially monthly every second Saturday at Frankie Bradley's, is the Frankie Fries tournament. So it is my one woman
Yes.
show. It is an interactive audience game show. So you basically show up, you pick a team, and you compete against the other half of the bar. And if your team wins, you get a free plate of Frankie fries, which are the tastiest steak fries you have ever eaten
They're
in your
so
entire
good.
life. So if you want to share one free plate of steak fries with an entire group of people that you will become friends with by the end of that 2 hour show, come to Frankie Bradley's on Saturday, September 14, honey. Yeah, and then keep an eye out because I might have some other projects coming up that even I don't know about because I don't know what I'm doing most of the time.
Amazing. So yes, if you guys want to see more of me and Avery talking shit, including the things that we alluded to that we said we'll talk about in the Patreon episode, you can subscribe to my Patreon. That's patreon.com/Zelda Vox, where there will be things that were cut out of this episode and some fan questions and some other fun things. You can also tip us if you found us entertaining or funny. Our payment info will be in the description. You can also find us on social media. That's at Good Name for Drag for Avery and at Zelda Vox for me. All of our links will be in the description, so you can find us real quick and easy. And please comment below on this video if you have any questions, topics, guest requests. Would you like to see Avery come back for another episode? let us know in the comments. And with that, we will see you next time. My next guest will be my OG drag mother, Ivana.
Ah,
So more Camp Wanakiki torment for my
torment is crazy.
viewers. And with that, we'll see you all on Patreon. Goodbye.